Yet another coastal storm is possible this weekend, and it could bring rain and wind to the Northeast states once again. This one will be a bit different than the last few, though, so let's break it down. Hey guys, I'm John with the New York Metro Weather. Today is Wednesday, October 4th. You are looking at the super ensemble for Tropical Storm Felipe, which is still hanging out in the southwest Atlantic Ocean. It has been there for several days now, but will finally start its turn northward, and it's not Felipe that we are worried about in terms of direct impact on the East Coast. Instead, it's Felipe merging with another storm system that could lead to a coastal storm this weekend. Here's the tracks over the next couple of days. The models take the system northward, and you can clearly see that some of them pull it further west, others take it further east, but no matter what, models agree that the storm will head somewhere close to New England and then hook up into Atlantic Canada and up into eastern Canada eventually this weekend. So why is the storm accelerating like that, and what's causing the rapid hook in with this system? Well, it's a situation that we've seen a lot of times over the last couple of weeks. If you're getting tired of these weekend coastal storms, you're not alone. I am right there with you. I feel like we've been talking about either a coastal storm or a tropical system impacting the Northeast for like the last 6 weeks. Here comes the remnants of Felipe tracking northward. That's this area here, this green and yellow. This is vorticity, so this is just spin in the atmosphere, and it helps us kind of visualize where these disturbances are. But you'll notice that Felipe tracks northward, and on the left side of your screen, you're going to see another system come in and scoop it up, right? So Felipe is tracking north. It's doing its own thing. It's weakening in the cooler waters of the North Atlantic, and it's probably bringing some rain to the coast. But once it gets scooped in by this other system to the left, that accelerates its forward motion. It merges in with the jet stream, and it creates a stronger storm that can have more significant impacts. This is called a phase, when these two disturbances phase together. So that's what we're seeing on forecast models. Now, if we back up here and we look at what's going on over the next couple days, this is valid Thursday afternoon and evening, and we're looking at the moisture content in the atmosphere. There's not a ton going on in the Northeast on Thursday initially, but then we start to get that tropical moisture feed pushing in. We see our initial system to the left side here causing this moisture to sort of pool along boundary between Canada and the United States, and that's a regular frontal system. But here comes Felipe and the remnants of the storm tracking northward, and as the two of those start to interact, you get a very, very moist environment across the Northeast on Friday and Saturday. And it's this environment really being exacerbated by the presence of Felipe and then the front that causes concern for some heavy rain as the system tracks north. And then you'll see the storm track north. This is Saturday afternoon. And eventually what happens here, and I mentioned earlier, this different than the last few, is Felipe is hooked north into Canada and dry air comes surging through underneath it. So we don't have this really long duration rain band set up lasting for days. Instead, it gets ugly for a day or so. You have the potential for heavy rain. Felipe comes through, and then that front brings this glorious dry fall air in behind the storm, drying things out on Sunday. But let's break down what this looks like in the days prior. Let's back up this forecast model and look at what happens. So Thursday afternoon and evening, we're doing okay, but then we start to get some showers in Friday morning across the Northeast states. These are your first sign that something is going on. Your front is still way back to the west, so this tropical moisture is pushing in. So Friday looks fairly ugly in the sense that it's going to be dreary and drizzly and cloudy across parts of the Northeast. But it's really Friday night into Saturday. That's when we start to see these bands of rain setting up all around the Northeast United States, even though Felipe is way off the coast. So these bands are going to lead to the potential for heavy rainfall and some localized flooding on Saturday as the system tracks through. That'll last through about Saturday night, and that's when Felipe tracks northward. That frontal boundary comes through, and it sweeps everything away into Sunday, which I think will end up being an okay day. We could still have some showers lingering across parts of New England on Sunday afternoon, but for a lot of the Northeast states, I think Sunday will be okay because of that dry air pushing in and moving the system out of the way. Rainfall totals, we're looking at ensembles here. So this is the mixture of 100 models. You're looking at the mean of them. And they suggest a possibility for over an inch of rain in parts of northern New Jersey, the New York City metro, and then a focus for heavy rain possible in New England as well, but an unsettled couple of days here throughout the Northeast states as a whole through this weekend. Again, Saturday, the worst of it. Sunday, we have this drier air pushing in, and it looks right now like it'll be an okay day compared to that Friday and Saturday time frame. If we're looking in the long range, though, I have some bad news. This pattern is likely to become defined by high latitude blocking in the next couple of days and weeks. What is high latitude blocking, right? Let's look at this pattern here. We're looking about 10,000 feet up above our heads. And we're looking at the anomaly. So the reds are showing you anomalously high heights or ridges, and the blues are showing you anomalously low heights or troughs. And I want you guys to watch what happens here. Here's Felipe, this blue area here off the coast of the Atlantic. And here's our disturbance coming in from the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley. This is the one that scoops Felipe up. But watch what happens as that phase occurs. It scoops Felipe up, but look what happens north of it. You see all this red area here, really from Greenland, the North Atlantic, into Canada? That is called a high latitude block. And what that does is it slows everything in the atmosphere down. Instead of this system being able to just scoot out of here, this block is putting up a stop sign and it's slowing everything down. And so what the models now are picking up on is, hey, there's a block here. And so what happens is that trough in the east, the storminess, it just keeps getting reinforced through the middle part of October. And it's very possible that we'll get additional storms to build in behind the remnants of Felipe and keep an unsettled, cooler, rainy pattern around because of this big red blob you see here, the blockiness just slowing everything down and basically causing what I consider to be an atmospheric traffic jam. So I don't think we're out of the woods yet when it comes to this kind of stormy pattern. And it's very possible, unfortunately, that we'll be talking about another coastal storm at some point in the next week or two. So again, just looking at what to expect this weekend, we'll back this up one more time and close it out for you. Thursday's not too bad, but we get this front coming in. It gets a little unsettled into Friday morning. Friday night into Saturday is when we will get bands of rain throughout the Northeast. We don't know exactly where they're going to set up, but where they do end up, the potential will exist for heavy rain and localized flooding. Felipe stays offshore, and once it moves northward, that frontal boundary swings right through and dries everything out. On Sunday, we could have a couple showers lingering across New England Sunday, but most of the area will see improving conditions by Sunday. The worst of this will be on Friday and Saturday. And then we'll clear out a little bit into next week and watch for the next potential storm system, which will come after that. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them right here in the comments. We'll be tracking this with you throughout the rest of the week and the weekend. Talk to you soon.